And for Elon, they've been really led this year by Isis Adams, a transfer out of ECU.
Yeah, and it's been an injury-marked season for Elon pretty much this whole year, but Adams has been the mainstay in this lineup, so effective at getting downhill. They want to get her going in their horn set, get her going downhill to the right hand. She could face up at the jumper, but also go with her back to the basket. Really tough guard when she's out in the open floor as well. They want to get her in transition. Monmouth will have their hands full today.
And meanwhile, Ariana Vanderhoop for Monmouth, not in the starting lineup today, but will come off the bench and play a big role.
She's a big-time X factor with this team offensively, because when she is clicking on all cylinders, this team is so hard to guard. And we saw it against Charleston, 15 points in a variety of ways being able to score. She can step behind the screen and hit the three. She can get out in the open floor in transition. So effective going to her right hand. Monmouth's going to need her off the bench today.
Huddle for the Elon Phoenix. Their head coach, Charlotte Smith, in her 13th season leading Elon, has led them into the NCAA tournament a couple of times, winning the CAA twice. It's been a tough year for them, Jackson, dealing with injuries to some key players that have kept them out for the whole season, but really pleased with the resiliency of this team and the spirit that they've continued to play with.
Certainly, and they're committed to their principles on the defensive end of the floor. I mean, they love to trap and blitz ball screens. They are active on the defensive end, off the ball, and they love to get set up into that 1-2-2 press off made shots. They're still committed to playing that same style.
Third season at Monmouth University for Ginny Bogus, trying to pick up win number 10, which would be the program's best start under her. And it just seems like year in and year out, the program has improved under her tutelage.
And you can't say enough about the job she has done. And we talked about defensive principles with Elon. Monmouth in a similar boat in that regard. They are very committed to moving the ball up the floor. They are also very committed to funneling everything into their shot blockers in Belle Cramble. Very specific style of defense, and should be a fun one today.
Well, it's Belle Cramble jumping center against Isis Adams, who wins it back for the Phoenix. And they will start with the opening possession in today's game. Elon has struggled a little bit offensively this year, averaging just 54 points per game, but they've been able to win some ugly games, and that's what they're going to have to do today.
Yeah, and like you said, it starts with their defense. They are active on the ball. They love to blitz and trap, especially in the wings and the corners, but they need to find a way to make some perimeter shots today to win on the road.
Kickball violation against Monmouth will reset the shot clock up to 20 seconds, and you can see this first possession, at least, Elon running a little bit of a longer set, but they do like to get up and down and play with a fast pace.
Yeah, and in their half court, you're going to see a lot of horns action. They like to get the ball to Adams, coming off of those rub screens, try to get her the ball on the elbow.
This is Marasia pass outside for a Diamond Monroe three-pointer. And the rebound grabbed by Sandrine Kleska for the Monmouth Hawks. Been playing really well their last couple of times out, a 75-62 win on the road in Charleston last time out for Monmouth. And Casey Donovan gets called for the travel after shuffling her feet, catching the pass.
And if there was an issue against Charleston, it was probably one of their most complete efforts of the season, but they still did turn the ball over 20 times. And that kept Charleston in the game. It gave them life, especially late in that fourth quarter. But got to value the basketball a little more, and that kind of goes for both teams as well.
Vanessa Taylor had a quick touch. Now it's Adams. It's been really great for Elon as of late. Couldn't get the scoop to the basket. But Adams scored at double figures in 6 of her last 7 games. Here's Donovan, and that gets us off the schneid of this one. First 2 for Casey Donovan.
And good to see a shot go down for her, but it starts with Kleska. She's so good at getting Monmouth into their offense, and especially off a miss. She wants to push the ball, so good at getting the ball out and getting Monmouth into their transition offense.
Diamond Monroe airballs the 3 long. Elon, a little bit off the mark their first couple of possessions today. Good entry into Exeter, and a nice feed by Kleska.
Some great high-low action, and a good look by Kleska. Second assist on 2 made field goals already, and a really nice seal and ducking on the interior.
Adams takes it to the rim and gets the layup for Elon for their first points of the game. Donovan, quick trigger 3, rims out. And Adams grabs the rebound.
And we talked about in the pregame with Adams. She wants to get downhill to her right hand. So hard to guard if she's able to get that first step by her defender to the right.
You know, Jackson, I think a big key today for both these teams, obviously rebounding, is that for every game. But Elon -3 on the glass this year. Monmouth +9 in rebound margin. And off the made basket in injury timeout as Murray should pass. Hit the deck hard right at the base of the basket. And it's a little bit shaken up at the end of the play. And I'm going to send the teams to their benches here for a minute.
She took a hard fall into the stanchion, unfortunately. Really hope she's okay because she's been one of the big bright spots, especially at the guard position for Elon.
We're going to step aside for a media timeout during the injury, and as we step away, we want to express our deepest sympathies to the family and friends of Madison Alfano, a student worker for Monmouth Athletics, who recently passed away last weekend.
Greatness never settles. That's why the Monmouth University Hawks drive World Subaru, the #1 Subaru retailer in all of Central and South Jersey. Visit World Subaru today, proud sponsor of the Monmouth University Hawks, or online at worldsubaru.com. Go Hawks!
I'm the director of the Cancer Center, designated by the National Cancer Institute.
We are here to make an important distinction.
There are cancer centers.
And there are NCI-designated cancer centers.
Recognized for world-class research
and positive impact on their communities.
No single person is going to cure cancer.
It'll take a team effort.
That's what an NCI-designated cancer center is all about. In New Jersey, there's only one, Rutgers Cancer Institute in New Jersey, together with RWJ Barnabas Health.
This is where everything starts. It's a place of new beginnings, new opportunities, and a new identity. We are the Coastal Athletic Association, and from the beaches to the city streets, we are united to succeed at an elite level, in competition, in our communities, in our lives. This is the tide that lifts us, the fire that burns inside all of us. This is our moment, our new chapter. We are the CAA, and we are united in excellence.
Back inside the Ocean First Bank Center alongside Jackson Isle, Joe Vasile. Early on, 4-4 ball game. Monmouth and Elon still shaking off the rust a little bit with this game tipping off at noon as opposed to the regularly scheduled 7 with all the snow. And so far, Hawks have done some good work defensively, but Elon hitting a couple baskets in a row to kind of get their feet underneath them.
Yeah, I mean, there's a concerted effort to get the ball to Isis Adams. I mean, she's their best player on the offensive end, and talked about when she gets downhill to her right, she is so hard to guard, and it starts with meeting her at the point of attack, and we've seen Taisha Exner get that challenge early on. Adams winning the battle early, but Exner, one of the best defenders in this conference, should be a good matchup to watch going forward.
So Monmouth with a couple of substitutions. Divine Dabula has checked in. Klesko lost it for a second, but was able to save it in bounds. Donovan. Merciel step back. Nice fake by the freshman Rosalie Merciel, making her first start of her career. That's a veteran move.
Yeah, you couldn't have said it better myself. Perfect shot fake, blow by, and then settling in the mid-range for the jumper. Really nice move by the freshman, who's been a real bright spot for Monmouth over these past couple weeks.
Jessica Booth checked in for Elon, so is Hannah Darriger. This is Adams underneath, swatted away by Exeter.
You can see the length that she brings.
At the end of the shot clock, Adams banks it in.
You think she called that one?
I hope so.
That's a big-time shot.
She's got all 6 for the Phoenix so far as take no good. Rebound out of bounds. Last touch by Elon, so it'll stay with Monmouth. And here comes Ariana Vanderhoop and Jania Hall off the bench for Ginny Bogus. Check in. We talked about Vanderhoop coming off the bench today. She's been really good since coming back from injury.
When she's clicking on all cylinders, this is a different Monmouth team offensively because she just gives you such a variety on the offensive end. You can play her in ball screens. She's really hard to guard because you can't go under, and when you're able to isolate her and get that empty side ball screen, such a tough guard, one of the toughest actions to guard in this conference.
Tabula trying to fight underneath, no good, and there's Adams to get the rebound. She has just been all over the place for Elon. Couple of rebounds, 6 points.
And a really nice wall up by Dara J on the defensive end before.
Couldn't hit on the offensive end. A rebound for Tabula.
And Tabula returned the favor on that end. Both defenders doing a good job of walling up, not committing too early.
Tabula called for steps. Caught the pass on the elbow off the pick and roll, and wasn't a bad action. Set the screen, kind of got over and was looking to drive, just didn't have the footwork down.
I think that's one of those situations where you have to know your personnel a little bit. Tabula catching the ball 15 feet away from the basket. That's not her game, putting the ball on the floor and trying to drive to the rim. I think Janaea Hall should keep the ball in that situation and wait for Tabula to get set in the post.
Here's Adams. She has been the Elon offense. Adams 8, Monmouth 6.
And they love to get her the ball in those situations. Set up the horns action, little cross screen on the elbow. And she went left, but she always wants to come back to that right hand and doing a beautiful job of it early on.
Vanderhoop. Nice move by Hall. Takes it to the rim and gets the roll.
She's real lightning rod off the bench, and she is an X factor, and that's what Ginny Bogus has talked about. Her impact offensively just gives you a different look as a physical guard who can finish through traffic in the lane, and a perfect example of it right there.
Booth, the Lafayette transfer, flips it back out for Adams. Spin move, no good that time. Monmouth been good on the glass, +3 already in rebounding. Donovan left wide open in transition and knocks it down with a hand in her face.
And that's her game. Catch and shoot from the outside, lighting it up from the perimeter this year. What an improvement as a jump shooter she has made here in her senior season. Just a phenomenal job. And in that situation, Vanderhoop recognizing the situation, planting her feet and the kick out for an open jumper.
Ali Rutkowski called for travel after catching the pass. And, you know, Donovan against Charleston was just 1 of 7 from three-point range. Had one of her roughest shooting games of the season. So good to see her, if you're Monmouth, knocking down her first three-point try today.
Yeah, and those are going to happen, too. I mean, and it wasn't really due to the lack of looks, because when you watch back the tape, she had a lot of open looks. She had a shot early that didn't count on a shot clock violation in the first few minutes of the game. That could have really got her going, but good sign to see a couple shots go down in the early going here.
Ella Farrelly checked in, had a quick touch. Bell Cranbull back out there for Monmouth as well, the conference's leading shot blocker. Vanderhoop cut off on the baseline. Extra pass for a Farrelly three-pointer that didn't go.
And that's a look Elon's willing to give up. They want to force the ball out of Vanderhoop's hands, force to the baseline, double team, and make Monmouth swing it and make the extra pass.
Farrelly's made just 1 3-pointer this year. You're okay with her taking that shot after Elon.
That's one of those shots that it's open, but you're willing to give it up, especially late in the shot clock, and that's a real nice move.
It's Vanessa Taylor with her first 2. Former national team member in Sweden. Taylor now in her 5th year at Elon. Raining threes for Jania Hall.
And that's one of the actions that Monmouth loves to go to. They love to get to Cranbull at the elbow, and it's almost like a pin down into a slip, and Hall's the one that pops out, and Elon doesn't communicate on the defensive end of the floor. It looked like a miscommunication on a switch, and Hall buries a wide open triple.
Pass looking to get going.
Good to see her back in the ball game as well.
Pass, driving. No good at the end of the shot clock. Farrelly got the miss. Monmouth looking to break out. They've got numbers. Cranbull couldn't catch the pass. Haynes for three off the broken play.
And she struggled shooting recently. I mean, she's 0 for 5 in her last 2 games. Just 4 of 18 from 3 coming into this one, her last 6. Really good to see her shoot the ball with confidence immediately off the catch.
Hall grabs the rebound off the miss for Elon. Long pass ahead to Cranbull. Beautiful. Timeout, Elon.
You just can't make a better pass than that. And it's one that, if you're Ginny Bogus, you're probably saying, why on earth are you throwing that pass? And then it's right into the breadbasket. Peyton Manning to whoever you want, Reggie Wayne in that situation, but a perfect pass to Cranbull, who can just go right up with it.
It's an 8-0 run for the Monmouth Hawks, leading to the timeout for Elon, as Cranbull got her first 2. And good to see also, after she got that pass in transition on the previous possession, had it go off her hands, securely going up and getting that one.
Yeah, and I'm not going to blame her for the first one, because let's be honest, Hall threw a rocket at her in transition on the first time, but that one a little more her speed, looped over the top. Easy catch in transition for a layup, but that's the type of offense Monmouth wants to play, and they weren't getting stops early on. It's hard to play transition basketball when you're taking the ball underneath the basket every time. When you're able to get stops off of misses, you get the ball moving, and that's exactly how Monmouth's been able to get their offense going here in the first quarter.
Monmouth looking to trap on Diamond Monroe, but able to pass it through. Lefty shot from Booth didn't go, but she got her own miss tipped out. Jess Booth, former All-Patriot League performer with the Lafayette Leopards. Pass. Open look from 3 and gets fouled. Chance for a 4-point play for Marasia. Pass.
And one Elon desperately needed. And it's interesting to see how Monmouth's going to cover these ball screens the rest of the day, because against Charleston, we saw a lot of drop coverage, especially when the ball was in the middle of the floor. But Monmouth trying to ice the coverage. They get the ball to the middle, move it along to pass. And it's late on the help, and the 3 goes down for pass. So great to see her back on the floor, but also making a perimeter shot, because Elon has shot the ball horribly over the last few games. Real good sign for the Phoenix.
Elon this year just 37% from the floor, a little bit under 25% from three-point range. It's been a struggle for them offensively, but Charlotte Smith has said, look, we like where our defense is at. That's been helping to keep us in games and be competitive.
And a real nice job here on the perimeter by Johnson, coming out and hedging that screen. And then you give away a foul at the end of the shot clock. It's unfortunate because it was a really well-defended possession by Elon. They're doing a great job on these wing ball screens, coming out and showing, and then also trapping when Monmouth picks up their dribble. To give away a possession like that at the end, it's got to hurt after you played 24 to 25 seconds of really good defense.
Pass going to sub out. Vanessa Taylor back on for Elon. Also, Ruby Willard comes on for the first time today. Each team picking up their first foul of the game within this last couple of minute stretch. Kleska gives to Cranbull. Just goes up and left it a little off the mark.
And a good contest inside. Johnson's given Elon some really good minutes in this opening quarter.
Off the drive and kick, it's Willard. Back to Booth.
Another example, icing the ball screen on the wing. Good job by Cranbull staying with Booth.
And then gets underneath to disrupt the pass to Maya Johnson. I'll go for an Elon turnover, just their second.
And we talk so much about the shot blocking, especially for Cranbull, but just so much more with that. And we just saw a perfect example of it. Ices the ball screen, forces Elon away from the middle of the floor, and then when they swing it, she recovers to the post and forces a turnover.
Shot clock turned off, final possession. In the first quarter coming up, Monmouth out in front of Elon.
It's really good scouting by Elon there.
Kleska drove into Willard and got fouled at 2.6 to go.
And that's a set Monmouth likes to run. It's an Iverson cut from Donovan into that little slip curl behind the screen, and Cranbull's looking for Donovan. They had it scouted out really well, but when you have someone like Sandrine Kleska who understands situational situations, I should say. She understands 5 seconds to go, got to go to the rim and try to force something, and she's able to draw a foul in the process.
Kleska hits the first free throw that the Monmouth Hawks have taken today. 65% for her this season. 2 for 2.
And just a real nice job of understanding that it was a blown-up play late, got to make a quick decision. She went right to the rim and seeked out contact.
Long pass ahead. Vanderhoop picks it off at the horn. Good if it goes. And just missed. A half-court shot for Ariana Vanderhoop, but Monmouth will take a 7-point lead into the second quarter this afternoon in West Long Branch. Today's broadcast of the Monmouth Hawks is brought to you in part by Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. Great Coke taste, zero sugar. And by Jersey Mike's, a sub above. Well, it's a snowy day down the Jersey Shore. Monmouth with a 7-point lead over the Elon Phoenix at the end of the first quarter, alongside Jackson Heil, Joe Basile with you here today. And Jackson, it was a first that saw a big run for Monmouth. They had an 8-0 stretch, but other than that, it was Elon just trying to find some offense outside of Isis Adams, who was really terrific for them.
You mentioned it. Adams was great early on, and it gave Monmouth trouble because you can't really get into your transition offense when you don't get stops, and Adams prevented that for the Hawks. And once Monmouth was able to get stops, they were able to get the ball in transition, move it up the floor, and it led to some flourishes and got some open looks from three as well.
Donovan, quick trigger three, a little short that time. And Maya Johnson got the rebound for Elon. I wouldn't say Johnson's name a whole lot, but has been given some good minutes in CAA games for them.
Yeah, and I thought she had a really effective defensive first quarter there. Did a real nice job showing on some screens and staying with the play, especially on the glass, because it's a tough task having to go against this Monmouth team when it comes to rebounding.
Pass, nice scoop to the rim. She's got 6.
And there was real concern early that maybe she might not come back into the game, and she's been Elon's best player since coming back in. Real nice hesitation on the drive, using her speed and a little stop and go to get by Donovan.
You know, we've talked a lot about the Elon defense and some of the things that we're doing. I think if you look at it, 21 points in a quarter. Monmouth shot almost 60% in the first, but you kind of, if you can look beyond those numbers, Elon has done a really nice job.
And I think if you told Elon that if Charlotte Smith's group would give up 63% shooting in the first quarter and you're still within a couple possessions, you got to be really happy. And it says a lot about not only the work that Isis Adams did, but also that Pass has been able to do, because she's been really effective on the offensive end of the floor.
Vanessa Taylor had it, and a foul called away from the basketball. It's going to go against Tasha Exeter. Her first against Monmouth in the second quarter.
Yeah, and Exeter has settled in against Adams as well. Adams got to her right a couple times, and she's adjusted since. You got to force her left off the first step.
Monroe with the catch and shoot, knocks it down, and boy, Diamond Monroe, a really good X-factor kind of player for Elon. When she's going good, that means good things for the Phoenix.
Yeah, she won't find many more open looks than that. Great baseline out of bounds set, and a real nice pass inside here from Donovan.
Vanderhoop got fouled, couldn't get the bucket, but she'll head to the line for a couple as Taylor picked up the foul for Elon. Neither team really fouled a lot in that first quarter, just 2 against Elon, 1 against Monmouth, and that's kind of characteristic, I think, of the way that both of these teams play defense, is they do a good job of not fouling on most occasions.
Yeah, I think it's also kind of twofold. It's a characteristic of what they want to do offensively, because both teams like to get out in the open floor. If both teams would prefer not to play in half-court sets, I think both Charlotte Smith and Ginny Bogus would take that. And we've seen a lot of transition offense on both sides. But even when teams have been settled in the half-court, it's trying to get a look within the first 10 to 15 seconds of the shot clock. And like you said, it's a reason for not too many fouls here in the opening first quarter plus.
A lot of teams in the CAA like to play the up-tempo game, is to not exceptions to that.
Yeah, and it's interesting because you don't really see it in the tempo numbers, because both teams like to press and slow the opponents down. You saw Monmouth there setting up in almost a 1-2-2. Both teams kind of do the same thing in that regard.
Good deny by Exeter, then saved it in. Here's Vanderhoop all alone.
That is so good from Taisha Exeter. Does a great job of jumping the route, stealing the pass, and then saving it on the other end and finding Donovan, who was waiting for it. And an easy bucket for the Hawks.
Kind of stuff that'll make a coach smile, and now an offensive foul. Legal screen on Maya Johnson.
And Johnson just tries to flip that into a flare screen a little too late. Looking to get past a look from the perimeter, but when you're moving too fast offensively, mistakes like that are going to happen. And we talked about the turnover bug killing both teams. Elon, it's been an issue yet again today thus far. 5 turnovers already in this one.
Elon averaging 18 turnovers a game. That is 10th most in the CAA. Granville sets the screen for Donovan, gets it right back, and couldn't hit from the free throw line.
It's really good action, though, from Monmouth. It's a little UCLA cut into a pin down and then right into a ball screen for Donovan, who fouled Cranbrook rolling, but just couldn't hit the mid-range jumper.
Pass might have had that one blocked. Donovan comes up with it. I'm going to circle back to something you just said in a second. Cranbrook somehow saved that one in. Donovan driving, layup good for Casey Donovan.
Pretty move, and Monmouth's offense is so dictated on flow. They're not going to run a ton of sets. It's a lot of 4 out, 1 in. They'll get it into Cranbrook, and you'll see a lot of UCLA cuts, but it's dictated off flow, and it's honestly very similar to the Jay Wright offense. 4 out, a lot of shot fakes, and a lot of blow-bys and jump stops.
Asia James knocks down a three-pointer, transfer from St. Peter's, where she spent her freshman season. You've said the UCLA cut now a couple times for the uninitiated, myself potentially even included in that. What does that kind of mean? What is a UCLA cut?
So a UCLA cut is essentially, it's a pass and then you screen. And once you get rid of the ball, you'll see Cranbrook at the elbow. She sets a back screen for someone just cutting to the basket. It's basically an offense. It's based on constant motion and constant movement, but it all starts on that UCLA cut. Known for, obviously, John Wood, and that was their entire offense when he was the coach at UCLA.
Vanderhoop off the block, gets the bucket contested. That's just tough work underneath for Vanderhoop.
And we talked about jump stops being a big part of this offense, and a nice job by Vanderhoop. She goes down on 2 feet, shot fake, and adjusts in midair to finish through some traffic.
And that's such a key on those jump stops. Got to come down 2 feet at the same time. Booth switched up to the right hand, couldn't get the layup. Run it out for Vanderhoop the other way. Monmouth's got the fast break working today.
And you can see how quickly they get the ball moving off of a miss. And that's why it's so important to get stops. And you got to give credit to Elon because they've been able to stay in this game because of the way they've been able to make shots. But off of misses, Monmouth is looking to move it up ahead, and they've done just that pretty much every time off an Elon miss.
3 rims out for Asia James.
And it looks like we do have a little bit of tired legs after so many transition up and down movements for Monmouth.
Bunch of subs for both teams ready to check in on the next whistle. Vanderhoop, corner 3, little short. And Adams got the miss.
And now Elon looking to run as well.
Pass rejected by Hall. Had it last go off first, so it'll stay with the Phoenix when we come back. 4:30 to go in the second. Monmouth Hawks up by 10 on Elon.
Greatness never settles. That's why the Monmouth University Hawks drive World Subaru, the #1 Subaru retailer in all of Central and South Jersey. Visit World Subaru today, proud sponsor of the Monmouth University Hawks, or online at worldsubaru.com. Go Hawks!
Whoever said that the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line never said anything about the quality of the ride. With Coach USA, you can charter a luxury motor coach for all of your special occasions. From your wedding day to corporate events, sightseeing, trips to the casino, sporting events, and concerts. Enjoy free amenities on board, things like Wi-Fi, restrooms, and movies. So to book your charter anywhere in the U.S. or Canada, just contact our sales office today.
Greatness never settles. That's why the Monmouth University Hawks drive World Subaru, the #1 Subaru retailer in all of Central and South Jersey. Visit World Subaru today, proud sponsor of the Monmouth University Hawks, or online at worldsubaru.com. Go Hawks!
Well, midway through the second quarter, Monmouth with a 10-point lead over Elon. Just the 3rd all-time meeting between these two programs. Became conference opponents last year. Elon won their home game in mid-February, 57-48. Monmouth won the only game here in West Long Branch, 64-56 in early January, around this time last year, Jackson. And it's kind of really fun to see with now year 2 in the CAA for Monmouth, all these new opponents and some new series and some new rivalries starting to brew. And this is one that is just another one in that kind of long line of new faces.
Yeah, and I think especially in year 1, it's always a crazy new adjustment because you're seeing teams a lot for the first time. And when you go now through the second year, you understand opponents' tendencies. You understand how to scout a little better. And you feel like Monmouth's definitely a little more comfortable early on, especially here in CAA play. And they've taken advantage of it in the early going, looking to get to 3-1 in conference play.
Right, yeah, especially that first time around the conference. It's almost like just a whole other part of your non-conference league, because it's opponents that you don't know inside and out like you know the rest of your conference typically.
And it's especially specific for the coaches because players obviously change, but a lot of coaches' tendencies tend to stay the same.
James with the steal, ahead to Booth to the basket.
And those are the type of defensive possessions that Elon's looking for. They force you baseline, trap, and make you move and make you throw that skip pass and try to rotate. And Elon was all over it there.
James one-on-one outside with Debula.
How about the effort from Asia James, forcing the turnover on one end and now doing a real nice job showing on these ball screens.
Debula trying to get around Adams inside and have the shot rejected. We haven't talked about Isis Adams' shot blocking, but she's averaging almost 2 blocks a game.
Yeah, and what makes her so special, too, is she's also can switch 1 through 5 and pretty much guard any position on the floor.
Elon takes the inbound away. Here's Taylor.
And that's just about the one thing you couldn't do in that situation. 2 seconds on the shot clock. You can't throw the ball away like that. And it basically becomes an assist off an inbounds pass because Taylor had an easy path the other way.
Merciel off the screen, throws to Debula on the pick and roll.
That's a phenomenal pass. And understanding the situation, 2 freshmen, you know that Elon's going to come out and jump that ball screen. Quick roll from Debula and a quick pass as well to set that all up.
On her way in, Booth gets fouled and a chance for a 3-point play.
And Booth has given Elon a big lift offensively, especially over the last few minutes. And how about the move to her left?
Check it, that was Vanessa Taylor.
Yeah, excuse me, good shout on that one. But you look at her going to her left, and Kleska just gets caught trailing that ball screen. And it's one of those, if you're going to foul in that situation, foul hard and don't give away an easy one. And that's unfortunately exactly what happened for Elon as they continue to just hang around in this one.
Taylor good on the free throw, and Phoenix back within 5.
And give Elon a lot of credit. They have battled offensively. They have found ways to stay in this game, but it's starting with getting stops on the defensive end of the floor.
Granville's check back in for Monmouth. Donovan drives, has it blocked by Adams, but the foul called on Isis Adams. That'll be her first.
And that's when Charlotte Smith's got her hands on her head on the sideline saying, don't reach there. You're in great position there if you're Isis Adams. All you have to do is stay in front and wall up in that situation. Instead, you get greedy slapping down on the ball and you send a really good free throw shooter to the line.
Donovan good on her first, already up to 8 points today. Tied with Ariana Vanderhoop and Isis Adams for the game high. A little short on the second. And a foul against Exeter. Look at Charlotte Smith. One of the finest players in the history of this sport.
Yeah.
National champion at North Carolina. Hit the game-winning shot in the national championship game. Not many people can say that.
No, that's quite a... I'm looking for the right word, but I mean, that's quite a line to have on your resume, especially in the basketball world.
And a 7-year career in the WNBA. While she was an assistant coach at North Carolina for a few years there, crossing over before coming to Elon.
Good opportunity in transition here for Monmouth.
Vanderhoop, no good. Hall gets the rebound offensively.
And you know, Joe, I think Jania Hall has been Monmouth's best player thus far. Real lightning rod on the end, on the offensive end of the floor, and has started transition on multiple occasions offensively.
Donovan gets the roll. She's in double figures with 10.
And it starts with a huge offensive rebound. In transition, through traffic. Hall not the tallest player on the floor, and it looks like we got a little zone action from the Hawks.
Pass tipped, but controlled by Monroe.
Yeah, definitely a 2-3 zone for Monmouth right now, trying to stop the bleeding on this end of the floor.
Skip pass to the corner. Booth couldn't get it off. I think just lost the awareness of where they were in the shot clock.
Yeah, and a great decision by Ginny Bogus to go to that zone there. It's not something that Monmouth does all that often, but to throw that little wrinkle, especially when Elon is rolling offensively and they're not seeing it coming there, it just takes Elon totally out of the flow of their offense. And they didn't really know what to do in that situation, and no recognition of the shot clock there. So a real nice defensive stand by the Hawks, and they didn't really have to do all that much.
Monmouth with a chance to go up by double figures. Donovan no good on the three. And a rebound for Monroe.
That's a real good quick hitter and a good look for Casey Donovan. She'll take that one 100 times out of 100. Just couldn't knock it down. And look at the defense from Hall.
Johnson pumps, drives, rejected by Cranbull.
How good is she?
Hall wide open. No good. Offensive rebound for the Hawks. At a 7-second differential, and they give it away. James with the interception. Pass from the nail. Gets it. That's a big shot for Malaysia pass.
Yeah, and Hall's got to do a better job of recognizing the situation. The difference between shot clock and game clock, very low there. If you take one late in the shot clock, it's probably the last possession of the half.
Donovan, no good, but she's fouled by Diamond Monroe.
And another great quick hitter there. It's the exact same set we saw Monmouth try to run at the end of the first quarter. Starts with that Iverson cut with Donovan going across. They get to Cranbull, and she just curls the second look. So you get another look. She just curls that second look. Great entry pass by Cranbull. And it forces a foul at the end of the shot clock. Just great offense from the Hawks there. Like we talked about, they don't run a ton of sets per se. It's a lot of flow and a lot of actions that are based off of motion and movement, but that's a set play that they have set in there, and it gets a good look for Donovan, who couldn't make the first free throw.
Makes good on the second, so now with 2 seconds left, Elon has a chance to at least get something off. Pass ahead for Adams, good if it goes, and a little short. Right before the end of the first half, the Monmouth Hawks maintain a 7-point lead over the Elon Phoenix halfway home. Been a good start for Monmouth, trying to pick up their third straight win. Bullet trying to get around out of Well, back at the Ocean First Bank Center at halftime, it is a 37-30 lead for the Monmouth Hawks over the Elon Phoenix. Alongside Jackson Heil, Joe Vasile, with you here today, and it was a good back and forth in that first half, Jackson. Monmouth pretty much maintaining a lead throughout, but Elon doing enough to stick around and make this a game here at halftime, especially in that second quarter. I think did a really nice job.
Yeah, and they finally made some shots. I mean, this Elon team, they don't take a ton of threes, but for them to go 2 of 6 from 3 in the first half, I think says a lot about the type of offense, because those are the type of shots that keep you in games on the road. Kelvin Sampson always says, in order to win games on the road, you have to make shots. You got to do everything else, obviously, but you're not going to win games on the road if you don't make shots. And Elon did just that, and they got a pretty balanced effort. They relied on Adams early, but Pass made some big plays and some big shots in that second quarter, and you got some great minutes from Vanessa Taylor as well, who had 7 points. 8, 8, and 7 for those three. They're keeping a minute, and really impressive effort by Elon offensively, but for Monmouth, they got some great looks in transition. It was nice to see Casey Donovan shoot the ball well, so I think both coaches got to be pretty happy with where they stand. Game's up for grabs here in the final 20 minutes.
Well, you got to make shots if you want to win on the road. You got to win on the road if you want to win in the CAA. You see the starts for Stony Brook and Charleston, along with North Carolina A&T, I think a little bit of a surprise with this 3-1 start for them through the first 2 weekends. Drexel, William, and Mary not so much, but a really fun start. Some good teams up at the top, and Monmouth trying to pick up a win here today and join that group up at the top of the conference at 3-1.
I mean, potentially you could have, after today, you could have 7 teams with at least 3 wins in conference play already, which is pretty impressive to say the least. And listen, the bottom of the conference has gotten off to a slow start. Hampton, UNC Wilmington have ranked as 2 of the worst teams in the country thus far, but there is a lot of balance at the top of the conference, and you go back to Stony Brook. I mean, the year that they've gotten off to, and listen, they didn't play too many tough opponents in that conference, but to have the record they do, Charleston's gotten off to a great start. It should be a fun year in the CAA, and we're seeing the type of opponents you have on the floor right now.
And Stony Brook ranked 7th in the mid-major top 25 this week on College Insider, the only CAA team in that top 25, but certainly a couple others that could start be making their arguments for that coming up soon. Stick around. We've got plenty more coming up at halftime. Monmouth up by 7 on Elon here in West Long Branch. Cool. Awesome.
I'm going to...
Well, back at the Ocean First Bank Center at halftime, the Monmouth Hawks with a 7-point lead over the Elon Phoenix. And to welcome you back in courtside, Joe Vasile here with you today, joined by Gary Kowal at halftime. And Gary, it was a really good first half for Monmouth and a really fun start to this one.
Yeah, it was a good half to watch, and I'm appreciative to everybody coming out that's here today and that's watching with the weather. It's pretty tough out there, and it's still snowing. I just looked, so Appreciate everybody coming out, and a good half for the Hawks.
Yeah, I was going to say, it feels like a good crowd, an energetic crowd, especially considering the late time change yesterday and the weather today. And it's been some nice energetic crowds here this year, right?
Yeah, it's been good, and we hope to keep getting more energy in the building, and we want to invite everybody out to all of our home games, men's and women's, and obviously this afternoon with the weather a little bit tough, but big home game tomorrow for the men, first time home in a couple of weeks, which is awesome. We got a really good look at Kessler Stadium in the snow right now, but big game for Monmouth tomorrow for the men against Hampton at 2 o'clock, and we want to get Monmouth students, Monmouth fans to show up. This team deserves the support. They have one of the top scorers in the nation in Xander Rice, and he continues to just put it on. Everybody that Monmouth plays. And this women's team coming off a championship with a lead at halftime today, looking to go over 500 in CAA play. A lot of good things happening in Monmouth basketball right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know the men had a really tough one last night at Drexel, but it's got to feel good to finally be coming home. I see a lot of the guys are here watching this one today, and you just see the smiles on everyone's face. It's like how excited they are to just be here and getting ready for tomorrow.
And we're getting great support from our student athletes, right? We have football players here. I've seen multiple sports. Monmouth track and field, Monmouth swimming always comes out and supports, and that's awesome for us to see on campus. These student athletes supporting each other and then reciprocating, right? And going to other sporting events, and the Monmouth basketball team going to watch other teams play. That's been an emphasis of Coach Rice and Coach Bogus to be out on campus, and we appreciate the support in both ways, coming out to basketball and the basketball teams going to other events.
And I know a lot of home games coming up for both the men and the women, but also some special things going on here at the arena outside of just those basketball games.
Yeah, we have some pretty important events coming up, and we're really excited about them. February 2nd, Monmouth women's game at 7 p.m. will be our Pride Night, and the Monmouth campus community has gotten super involved in that, and it's been awesome. National Girls, Women, and Sports Day will be a couple days later, February 4th. Some really exciting things going on that day that they're still in the works, but really excited about that day. So that's going to be a fun weekend on campus, that first weekend in February. And then later on in the month, we'll have Black History Night. Black History Month will be highlighted across our social media all the way through on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and everywhere else. But that one specific night, February 24th, for the men's game against North Carolina A&T, really looking forward to having some people back and celebrating Black History Month the proper way here at the First Bank Center.
And that'll also be senior night too, right? Did I see that?
Yes.
Awesome.
Senior night should be a really awesome weekend, and some alumni events also for Monmouth basketball. Monmouth women were supposed to have one today. Unfortunately, with the weather, we're going to push that back, and we'll announce that date. And then the Monmouth men having a bunch of alumni back from the program on February 17th, the week prior to Black History Night. So really excited about some of those events. And like I said, two really good basketball teams on campus right now. Let's get this building filled.
Where do people go to get tickets?
MonmouthHawks.com/tickets. We're always running promotions on social media. Follow at Monmouth Hawks on Twitter, at MUHawks on Instagram, Monmouth University Athletics on Facebook, and tell your friends, tell everybody to come out, tell your neighbors. We love the support of our local community, and we want to keep growing this.
He's Garrett Cole, Joe Vasile at halftime. Monmouth up by 7 on Elon, looking for their third straight win on a snowy Friday afternoon. Monmouth Hawks leading by 7 at halftime over the... He's Jackson. I'll show the seal with you in West Long Branch. Snowy day outside Jackson. It hasn't dampened the mood, though, here inside. It's been a fun crowd, a really fun game, and really excited to see what the second half has in store.
I think a lot more points than a lot of people were expecting, despite the fact that both of these teams like to play with pace. Both of these programs are built on their defense, and yet both teams were able to make a couple shots from perimeter. They got a lot of great looks in the paint, 30 combined paint points in that first half. And credit Elon, every time it looked like Monmouth might pull away, the Phoenix found a way to stay in it, and we got a good one going into the second half here.
Yeah, really old school game. Not a lot of three-pointers taken in that first half combined. A lot of stuff going on down low in the post. And Monmouth getting out in transition was really deadly throughout that first half.
Yeah, and offensively, a lot of their looks, especially after those first 5 minutes when Elon, it felt like couldn't miss a shot, led by Isis Adams. They did a good job of getting in transition. Casey Donovan was phenomenal in that first half, 11 points. Was only 1 of 5 from 3, but she found a lot of different ways to score. Vanderhoop also contributed off the bench, but give Elon a lot of credit. Vanessa Taylor gave them great minutes, but Pass and Adams led the way with 8 points each, and it felt like every time Monmouth was going to pull away, it was one of those two that found a way to step up.
Look at the halftime stats presented by RWJ Barnabas Health and Monmouth Medical Center. A lot of things pretty close. Monmouth obviously taking a few more threes, but only made one more. Getting the line a little bit more, but the rebounding was a big one. Hawks +5 in the first half, and that's been their MO throughout the season, is getting those advantages in rebounding, and that's really a big reason why they've got this lead.
For sure, but to me, the number that sticks out is turnovers. Only 6 for Elon, 5 for Monmouth. Elon did a great job, especially in the second quarter, of taking care of the basketball, and Monmouth on the whole doing it as well.
Both these teams have come in struggling with committing turnovers. 18 a game for Elon, just a shade under 18 a game for Monmouth. Good take by Malaysia Pass. Gets the first 2 for the Phoenix in the second half. Gets them back within 5.
She was great in that first half, and that's a great move over the best shot blocker in the conference in Karanbul. And Pass gives up a lot of size there, but a nice job to just creep her way and find a seam to finish over the top of Karanbul.
Vanderhoop out there to start the second half. Didn't get the start today, came off the bench with Merciel getting the call. As Taysha Exeter able to finish. But Vanderhoop gave some really good minutes off the bench in that first half, getting the second half start.
Yeah, and we talked about it before, but when she's at her best, Monmouth offensively, they can find a new gear and a really nice opening possession. Good job of rejecting the ball screen by Exeter and going right to the hoop and finishing with her size with the right hand. Really settled into the game defensively after Adams got off to such a great start.
Here's Pass. Gave it up for Adams. Has it rejected by Exeter.
I mean, right on cue there. We talked about how when Adams gets to her right, she's so hard to guard because she is really good at creating separation around the rim. And now Monmouth's got a second to battle here.
In for Monroe. Can't get it off. And a shot clock violation by Charlotte Smith. A little bit frustrated. She's like, come on. It's, one left, got to know. But just a really nice block for Exeter.
Yeah, and Jenny Boggess has talked about that she's one of the best defenders she's ever coached. And you can see why, because really good lateral quickness. She's also 6 feet tall with a great wingspan, so she can cover pretty much anyone on the floor. And to have someone who can switch 1 through 5 and also cover 5s, that's a great pass inside, too.
Wow, what a feed into Granville.
Just great recognition on the pick and roll, and Kleschka's as good as a passer as you'll find in this conference.
Rebound tipped out of bounds by Elon. Both Kleschka and Exeter transferring over from Pitt last year and have been huge parts of the success of this Monmouth team this season.
Yeah, and I think both of them really do a great job of contributing on the defensive end of the floor. Both are really good athletes, and talked about the lateral quickness that both provide, and we've seen it on numerous occasions from both of these players.
Vanderhoop and 1.
Just fantastic patience by Vanderhoop. We saw Elon show on that ball screen up high. She takes her time, gets around it, and then attacks the mismatch. Going downhill with the right hand, takes the contact, finishes with some strength. As you get another look from underneath, the help comes late. And Vanderhoop with a phenomenal finish. What a lift she has given Monmouth off the bench. And not a particularly normal situation for her to be coming off the bench, because you could argue she's Monmouth's most efficient offensive player, but man, it's nice to get a lift like that sometimes off the bench.
No good on the free throw, but looks like they're calling a lane violation on Elon and Maya Johnson, so we'll do it again.
It just got a little too aggressive on that occasion. But that's sometimes the issues when you try to hedge ball screens and when you blitz so many times, is that Johnson got caught on Vanderhoop, and it ended up being a situation where they couldn't switch back because the help had already gone elsewhere. So she got caught in an unfortunate situation, and a nice steal by Monmouth.
Great job by Vanderhoop to save it in. Made a couple of those kind of hustle plays today. This is going to stay with the Hawks after the tip.
And it's two different styles of pressure that we see. When Elon score, they like to set up in that 1-2-2, which is basically a three-quarter court press. They try to slow the game down and kind of just force you into a scenario where you only have 20 seconds in the half court. For Monmouth, they're trying to force turnovers.
Offensive foul. Good job by Maya Johnson to draw the charge.
And she's been really good on the defensive end of the floor as you get another look. And I'll say she did sell that one pretty good. Didn't look like there was a ton of contact. As we get another look from up top as you see it. I mean, she was going down before the contact even came, but that's why they go to acting class.
Sometimes you got to do what you got to do to get that call.
And one of the great changes this sport has made is the way the block charge call has been officiated this year.
Chance for a three-point play for Elon, as there's Maya Johnson getting it done on the other end.
And a nice feed in traffic on the pick and roll, this time coming from Booth. It's very simple, just an elbow pick and roll, and Johnson with the short roll, able to catch through traffic, and Vanderhoop got caught pretty much in no man's land underneath the basket. Didn't need to be in help there. If she's going to be in help, she has to be there immediately on the catch. Instead, she's late. It results in a foul and a chance for a three-point play.
No friendly roll for Johnson. And then a foul on Vanessa Taylor, fighting against Farrelly for the rebound.
And this is an interesting lineup for Monmouth. Vanderhoop's on the bench. You have Donovan in the floor with Jania Hall. And Hall's probably going to be the de facto second point guard, because obviously when you have Kleska on the floor, you want the ball in her hands. But Monmouth very comfortable with Hall handling the ball and taking up the floor and letting her set up the offense.
Tabula sets the screen for Hall. Comes to her underneath. Farrelly pumps, drives, has it blocked. Stay with the Hawks with 10 to shoot.
And nice to see Farrelly, though. I know she has nothing to show for it yet on the score sheet, but she has been aggressive. We saw her take a wide open three before with confidence. We saw her practicing that before the game. You always like to see players who especially come off the bench play with a lot of confidence on the offensive end of the floor.
Kleska driving, floater no good. Rebound out of bounds. And it'll go the other way with Elon.
And a good fight by DeBola. You can see why they like her so much. And she's still, again, she's a freshman. She still has a lot to learn on both ends of the floor, especially on the offensive end in terms of just understanding spacing and knowing where to catch the ball and where a good time it is for her to seal on the interior. But she goes hard after the glass.
Ten-point lead for the Monmouth Hawks. Elon trying to cut into it a little bit. Monmouth has comfortably led for a while, but never by more than 12, as Jess Booth with a nice drive and finish.
And Jania Hall was in great defensive position there. They were icing that ball screen, forcing her into the pressure, and instead she turns late and lets Booth attack off her front foot, and a really good seal down low to allow an open pass to the basket.
Booth dealt with a lot of injuries in her time at Lafayette, but boy, when she was healthy, she was as dynamic as any player that was on the court.
And we've certainly seen spurts of it today. Really nice job in pick and roll. She's gone hard to the basket on numerous occasions.
Blocking foul against Hannah Darriger. It's going to be the third foul on Elon with 6:06 left to go in the third. So already starting to see some more fouling in the second half, or at least more fouls being called in the second half.
And Elon is very aggressive on the defensive end of the floor. And we talked about the lack of fouling in the first half. Part of that just being because how much of this game was played in transition. Now we're seeing a lot of half-court offense, and fouls are resulting from it.
Donovan, no good on the three. Rebound for Isis Adams.
Let's see if they look to get Adams going. Scored the first 8 points for Elon, but hasn't scored since. And she ends up turning it over nearly here. Gets caught in some traffic.
Called a held ball, possession arrow favoring the Hawks. So it will go down as a turnover for Adams. Monmouth in front by just 6 points at this point. It's been a kind of an extended 6-0 run for Elon, kind of just chipping away. What does Monmouth have to do to turn the tide a little bit offensively after a few empty possessions in a row?
I think they really need to get a point of emphasis on getting the ball into the paint. We've seen them take a lot of perimeter jump shots, and part of that you got to give credit to Elon, because defensively they've done a good job of helping. We talked about how active they are off the ball. They want to force you into their help and then move it to the perimeter. When shots aren't going down, you got to force the ball inside.
AV, little short, might have gotten tipped.
And again, it's another perimeter jump shot off the screen. We know she can hit them, but again, it's a good contest and good help from Elon off the ball. That's something that has definitely been a point of focus for the Phoenix here in the second half.
Pass. Adams was kind of trying to direct her from down low. Darriger threw it off Cranbill's leg for a kick ball.
Yeah, and Adams was begging for it on the interior. She had a mismatch with Hall. Wanted the initial pass over the top, but did a good job of sealing to try to get that high-low action, but Darriger just couldn't get it through.
Pass, crossover. Out for a Willard three-pointer. And Merciel grabs the rebound. Hey, Willard's got a really interesting shooting action, doesn't she?
It's funny. I was just about to mention it's an awkward shooting stroke. She keeps it on the right side of her body and can get it off pretty quickly, but still just totally unorthodox. But she does not shy away from confidence.
Merciel trying to do a little too much there. Adams up ahead. Darriger finds Taylor for three. Boy, Vanessa Taylor just 15% this year from beyond the arc, but left wide open. And it's a three-point game here in West Long Branch.
Yeah, there's a reason she wasn't contested there. Cranbill understanding the scouting report, but got to give credit where it's due. The Phoenix continue to battle, and starting with their efforts on the defensive end.
Well, they can tie with a three-pointer this possession. Only attempted 8 threes today. Darriger blocked by Cranbill. Got the miss back, and then a timeout taken by the Phoenix with 3:56 left to go in the third. A 3-point lead for Monmouth as Elon giving us a nice run going into this timeout on the floor. Today's broadcast of the Monmouth Hawks is brought to you in part by Newman's Own, the radically good food company. 100% of their profits go to help kids facing adversity. Find a store near you at newmansown.com. And by World Subaru on Shrewsbury Avenue in Tinton Falls. Get more for your money at World Subaru. That's a three-point lead for the Monmouth Hawks with 3:56 left to go in the third quarter alongside Jackson Heil, Joe Basile. It's been a 9-0 run for Elon over the last 3.5 minutes to get this down to a one-possession game. Out of the timeout, look to work it inside with Isis Adams, one-on-one with Farrelly. Couldn't get the shot, then a good box out by Farrelly to get the rebound.
Yeah, it was a great set by Elon. A little back screen to get a look for Adams in the post. Just the player you want to have it, but just couldn't convert. And like you said, a real nice box out to secure the possession for Monmouth.
Farrelly with 8 to shoot. Now Hall. Only a couple seconds left. Throws it up. Has it blocked by Adams.
She is so versatile on the interior.
Long ahead and off Willard's hands and out of bounds. And that will send us to another timeout with 3:12 left to go in the third. Monmouth 44, Elon 41. Got a good one cooking down the shore.
The right way to top a sub is with real red wine vinegar made from red grapes and no food coloring. And the right way to film it is in slow motion. Obviously. Because authentic ingredients make a sub above.
I'm the director of a cancer center designated by the National Cancer Institute.
We are here to make an important distinction.
There are cancer centers.
And there are NCI designated cancer centers.
Recognized for world-class research
and positive impact on their communities.
No single person is going to cure cancer.
It'll take a team effort.
That's what an NCI designated cancer center is all about. In New Jersey, there's only one. Rutgers Cancer Institute in New Jersey, together with RWJ Barnabas Health.
Greatness never settles. That's why the Monmouth University Hawks drive World Subaru, the #1 Subaru retailer in all of Central and South Jersey. Visit World Subaru today, proud sponsor of the Monmouth University Hawks, or online at worldsubaru.com. Go Hawks!
Getting that perfect slice is satisfying, fulfilling, and rewarding too. But we don't do it for fun. We do it for fresh. Slice to order makes a sub above.
Monmouth University golf outing is coming up on June 3rd, 2024 at Matitaconk National Golf Club. Visit monmouth.edu/golf outing for more information. Any good at golf?
Oh man, it might be the only hobby I have in this world, so I would hope I'm decent at it. I will say it does make my soul break that it is snowing out right now. And I know the season is, I guess, over already, but won't be seeing the courses anytime soon, unfortunately.
Hey, it's a good chance to go out and practice your sand shots.
Oh man, I could use a lot of work there as well.
The best way to hit a sandy is don't go in there. It's easier said than done.
Definitely easier said than done.
Anyway, 3-point lead for Monmouth. Inside 3 minutes left to go. Hawks have been without a point for nearly 5 minutes. Kleska trying to change that. Granville bats the rebound out, and Merciel grabs it.
And that's where she's so effective on the offensive glass. What a cut by Donovan.
Oh, reliable Casey Donovan with 13 for the Hawks. And that breaks that 5-minute and 20-second scoreless drought. for Monmouth. A sorely needed bucket.
A rare look of zone from Monmouth right here.
Johnson for the baseline. She's got 4.
She's been really effective today on both ends of the floor. Really nice job in her ball screen defense, showing and going.
Vanderhoop driving, gets the bucket. But an offensive foul.
I talked about Johnson had made the most of the last offensive foul she drew. This time, she's in perfect position defensively. Make sure she's set before Vanderhoop goes up to the basket as we get another look. Nice little handoff, and she gets outside the restricted area, set, takes the charge, no-brainer call.
Couple big charges taken by Johnson here in this third quarter. And again, Elon with an opportunity to tie. It's Asia James, no good on the three-pointer.
She is not gun-shy from the perimeter. She was off balance there and still let it fly.
And James, a MAC all-rookie selection in 2021 at St. Peter's. Big part of their team that made it to the MAC championship game that year. No, a big surprise during that COVID year.
Certainly. The Peacocks know a thing or two about surprise march runs, that's for sure.
Whatever do you mean?
I think you know what I'm getting at with Shaheen Holloway and the Elite Eight run a few years back. What a time that was in college basketball. And it's crazy how a program can just be ignited like that. And what a handoff, but he can't make the open layup.
Pass no good, but the follow-up goes down for Maya Johnson. It's a one-point game.
It's a great handoff and a miscommunication. And Monmouth nearly got away with it, but Johnson on the cleanup. She's been Elon's best player here in the third quarter.
Donovan draws a foul against Asia James. That'll be the 4th against Elon.
I mean, we've seen 2 charges drawn by Johnson. We've seen 6 points from her here in this quarter in a variety of different ways. Screen and roll, a little short corner jumper, and then cleaning up the loose change on the last possession.
Vanderhoop. Out for Kleska. And an offensive foul on Belle Cranble.
She's usually so good at setting those screens around the elbow. But that time just moved her feet a little bit to the right. And all of a sudden, Elon can take the lead here on this possession.
Monmouth led by 12 at the start of this run, and a travel against Isis Adams.
And that's a perfect example of how to defend when you're beat, because Adams gets that first step and she gets by Donovan to her right, but Donovan does a good job of not cheating, not reaching. She gets back in position, walls up, and is able to use her physicality to kind of bump Adams off her spot and force the travel. That's great recovery defense by Casey Donovan.
Hall, nice move to drive but can't finish, and that's how it's gone for Monmouth in this half.
It's a great move, too. I mean, everything but the finish on that occasion, and you could sense a little frustration coming from the Hawks. And this one's going to result in free throws.
Just 2 points for Monmouth in the last 7.5 minutes. As Maya Johnson will head to the free throw line for 2.
And Elon's fingerprints are all over this, though. Defensively, they've been super active in their help defense, forcing drives into traffic as Johnson makes the first, but they're funneling all these drives into places where they want the ball to go. It's to the baselines where they're trapping. It's into their help defense where Johnson's been able to draw a couple charges. And they're forcing kickouts for threes that Monmouth can't hit right now.
Phoenix in front, 47-46.
And you can see this three-quarter court pressure that now falls back into man. See if they can get Vanderhoop going downhill to the basket here.
Gonna be Haynes for 3, no good. Shot clock turned off the offensive rebound. Monmouth will put it out for the last shot. Hall throws it away. It's Adams on the breakaway at the buzzer, and what a way to end the third quarter for the Elon Phoenix.
Wow.
3-point lead for Elon heading into the fourth quarter. Today's broadcast of the Monmouth Hawks is brought to you in part by Monmouth Medical Center, an RWJ Barnabas Health facility and a recognized leader in patient safety and critical quality. For more information about services close to you, visit rwjbh.org/Monmouth. RWJ Barnabas Health is proud to be the official healthcare provider of Monmouth Athletics. And my Monmouth Hawks tickets, visit monmouthhawks.com/tickets to get yours today. Heard Gary Cowell at halftime talking about all the great stuff coming up. Men's basketball tomorrow.
Big time.
Pride Night next month. Black History Night and Senior Night against North Carolina A&T later on in February as well. A lot of good stuff going on here at Monmouth over the next couple of weeks. Good stuff going on right now, too. 10 minutes left to play. Elon 49, Monmouth 46. What a third quarter that was for the Phoenix, closing things out on a 17-2 run.
Yeah, their defense was phenomenal, and they forced Monmouth into a lot of shots that they weren't necessarily comfortable taking. And it led to some transition opportunities on the other end. They made a couple threes to go with it, and all of a sudden it's a 3-point Elon lead here in the fourth.
And Monmouth led by as many as 12 in that third quarter. Booth stepped on the line trying to throw the pass.
And Elon went to one of their favorite sets out of the quarter, getting their horns look. They get it to Adams on the left elbow and just let her drive to her right. But some really good defense by Taisha Exeter. And they're going to need her defense down the stretch here in the fourth quarter.
Exeter has it tipped out of her hands by Asia James. It's going to be Elon basketball.
And a great dig on the wing from Asia James right there. You mentioned it. It's just a face-up on the elbow, and you can see James with the little dig, gets her hands in the cookie jar and able to knock it loose. And that's been the story of the second half so far for Monmouth. 6 turnovers already here in less than 11 minutes in the second half. Not going to get it done.
Johnson backing down on Cranbull, couldn't get it. And Bell grabs the rebound. Just her third rebound today after she had 18 in the win against Charleston over the weekend.
They've done a good job of attacking in the paint without attacking her specifically.
Granbull inside gets the bucket.
And that's a great pass. Phenomenal entry pass to Granbull, who just turns to her right and goes up for the easy layup. But I mentioned before, they really haven't attacked her too much in ball screens, which is where Charleston ran into some trouble against Monmouth in the last outing. Nice move by Booth.
6 points for Jessica Booth coming off the bench.
She's given Elon a real lift, getting downhill, attacking this ball screen coverage, and making good decisions with the ball in her hands.
Exeter to Vanderhoop. Monmouth trying to get her going again.
Another good show by Johnson. Now she's stuck on the mismatch.
Vanderhoop drives, and Johnson affected the shot.
Did a great job of defending it this time. We saw Vanderhoop get an and one the last time that matchup occurred. This time Johnson stays low, stays behind, and contests the shot.
From the free throw line, Johnson knocks it down. Big second half for her. She's up to 10 points.
She's been the best player on the floor, in my eyes, because she's been able to affect the game on both ends of the floor. Facing up now, hitting a jumper after a big-time contest on the other end of the floor.
Three on the way, good from Exeter. That is a huge shot for Monmouth, their first three-pointer of the second half, and a timeout taken. With 7:23 to go, Monmouth back within two. Should be a great finish this afternoon.
This is where everything starts. It's a place of new beginnings, new opportunities, and a new identity. We are the Coastal Athletic Association, and from the beaches to the city streets, we are united to succeed at an elite level, in competition, in our communities, in our lives. This is the tide that lifts us, the fire that burns inside all of us. This is our moment, our new chapter. We are the CAA, and we are united in excellence.
The right way to top a sub is with real red wine vinegar made from red grapes and no food coloring. And the right way to film it is in slow motion. Obviously. Because authentic ingredients make a sub above.
I'm the director of the Cancer Center, designated by the National Cancer Institute.
We are here to make an important distinction.
There are cancer centers.
And there are NCI-designated cancer centers.
Recognized for world-class research
and positive impact on their communities.
No single person is going to cure cancer.
It'll take a team effort.
That's what an NCI-designated cancer center is all about. In New Jersey, there's only one. Rutgers Cancer Institute in New Jersey, together with RWJ Barnabas Health.
Greatness never settles. That's why the Monmouth University Hawks drive World Subaru, the #1 Subaru retailer in all of Central and South Jersey. Visit World Subaru today, proud sponsor of the Monmouth University Hawks, or online at worldsubaru.com. Go Hawks!
Well, 7:23 left to play. Monmouth trailing Elon 53-51. If you stepped aside for a few minutes and came back and wondering what happened, Monmouth had a 12-point lead early on in the third quarter. Elon just shut them down after that, went on a 17-2 run. Been a good back and forth to start the fourth. Taysha Exeter just hit a big three ahead of the timeout for Monmouth, and that was the shot that they really sorely needed, Jackson.
Yeah, and I'm a big fan of taking the timeout there because it felt like things were starting to unravel, especially on the defensive end of the floor. Elon's done a great job of attacking the interior, but also dragging Belle Cranbull away from the basket so she's not the same type of interior presence that she's been in the past. I mean, we saw against Charleston, she did a phenomenal job, and I wonder if we see some zone from Monmouth, and, well, right on cue, the Hawks come out in a zone. I really like the decision here from Coach Bogus.
Work it quickly underneath. Johnston no good. And the rebound, last touch by Monmouth out of bounds. So it'll stay with Elon. Fresh 20 on the shot clock.
And Elon knew it was coming too. And you got to give Charlotte Smith a lot of credit because they understood what to do coming out, expecting a 2-3 zone. Get the ball to the middle and have someone running the baseline. And they got a good look. Johnson just couldn't convert on the layup.
Elon, a team that likes to switch defenses up a lot. Johnson, nice move with the hesitation. New career high for Maya Johnson with 12.
I thought she got away with the travel there, but nonetheless, a great look on the screen and roll. And how good has Booth been today? We talked about her, and when she's healthy, she's one of the most dynamic players on the floor, and she's done a great job making good decisions in their ball screen offense.
Donovan stripped to the ball by Booth, but got it back. Kleska on the run, no good, and there was Booth popping up from being down on the ground and was in the perfect spot.
Just doing it all today. Those two specifically have given Elon just a huge lift in a variety of different ways. And you can see Booth in the corner. She needs to blow for a second.
Ice Adams hands back off to Malaysia Pass. And a foul called on the Hawks. It's going to be Kleska picking it up.
And Monmouth's having a lot of trouble covering this elbow ball screen that Elon has gotten into. And no matter who it is, they've run it with Pass and along with Adams. They've run it with Johnson and Booth, as we've seen a couple times. And they're having a lot of trouble communicating on these ball screens. Not sure whether to switch or not sure whether to kind of stay with it and play drop coverage.
Foul going up, another one on Monmouth. So 2 in short order against the Hawks. Going to be a couple free throws coming up. Divine Dabula, the guilty party this time. Is that trouble with that elbow ball screen just a kind of a result of a play that works just really well against the defense that Monmouth's running? Or
It does. It's a very good point because especially with Monmouth's bigs, they really like to play drop coverage with Cramble and kind of let the guards trail. But when you run it so tight close to the basket, there's not a lot of room to drop. I think in a lot of cases, you need to switch that action. And even if it makes Cramble uncomfortable on the perimeter, it's a good situation where if you can jump the elbow and cause some disruption, you can cause a turnover. And is that free throw not going to count right there?
I think call a foul against Elon, it looked like. Lane violation.
They got that.
There it is.
Okay.
So scratch that, reverse it. No foul, but lane violation waves it off.
It's still a huge sequence there. I mean, goes from a 4 to 5 point game to a 4 point game. And those are just little things when you look back on it. On a made free throw with a lane violation in a 1 possession game, every little decision and point matters.
Bounce pass, nobody home. And a turnover for Monmouth. By the way, big thanks to Crystal Pelletise, referee today, for the quick explanation. Work with David Troy and Michelle Liu tonight.
Yeah, and a really good job as officiating crew. I think that travel was the first thing I complained about. And it took about 35 minutes, which if you've ever watched a college basketball game with me before, you would know that it usually takes about 30 seconds for me to say something about the officials. So big time credit to this crew for the performance today thus far.
Timeout taken by Elon as Charlotte Smith is not happy with Malaysia Pass. Look at Xander Rice, leader of the Monmouth Hawks men's basketball team. 27 points yesterday on the road down at Drexel, leading the way for the Hawks. Watching the game with pretty much his entire teammate. Just kind of taking a look down. There's a ton of men's basketball players cheering on the women today. They're going to be in action tomorrow for the big contest back at home, their first home game of 2024. They've been off to a nice start. It was a rough first year in the CAA last year, a very young program, but they've got some really good pieces that should make them fun to watch here for the remainder of this CAA and see what they can do.
Yeah, I mean, how good has Rice been this year? What a fun watch he's become this season. And Looking for a sweep this weekend, potentially at home, but work to do for the Hawks.
A great career at Bucknell for Xander, and coming over to Monmouth to play for his dad for his final season in college basketball.
I'll tell you what, Booth did not miss that one by much, and that was basically from Mars.
Hall drives, good move to get around, no good. Dabula couldn't get the putback either.
They got to get Donovan involved. She has not been a part of this offense here in the second half. Just one field goal in the second half thus far for Monmouth's leading scorer.
Booth stopped, got some space, and gets the bucket. She's up to 8.
Just a freshman mistake by Divine Dabula. Hall was on the wrong side of Booth on that occasion, and Dabula just has to recognize that you got to stay with the ball, especially when it's right on the block.
Elon outscoring Monmouth 27-14 since halftime. Donovan drives, offensive foul.
I got to see this one again, but it felt like the help got there in time. But with this new rule in college basketball, it feels like every block or charge has pretty much been a block. Get another look here to get the overhead view. That's a block to me. That's a clear block to me because the help is late. She's not set before Donovan leaves the ground, and the feet are still moving. Even though she's outside the restricted area, that's been the big change in this rule this year. That is a textbook block. It's a missed call by the officials there, unfortunately.
6-point lead for Elon. Ice Adams. And now the Phoenix going to slow things down, try to eat up some clock.
Monmouth in the zone.
James, catch and shoot, no good. Offensive rebound for Taylor, rejected by Farrelly.
And how about Elon? They're all over the offensive glass right now, but a real nice block to save this from potentially getting away.
Vanderhoop, step back, way short. Phoenix get the rebound. And you know what really stands out, Jackson, in this second half? Monmouth has really struggled to get into their transition offense throughout the entire half.
And that's what happens when you don't get stops. When the ball goes through the basket, it's hard to get the ball out and moving that quickly. And Elon's did a good job of converting on a lot of long possessions, too. All the credit goes to the Phoenix right now.
This time it's Donovan coming up with the block from behind. 4 left to shoot for the Phoenix as Belle Cranbowl returns.
And we've talked about how Adams really hasn't been involved offensively, but man, has she been good defensively. She's been switched on Vanderhoop a couple times and has gotten a hand on a couple mid-range jump shots.
Quick catch and shoot. Diamond Monroe couldn't hit. Monmouth down 6, just over 2.5 to play. Hawks need a run, though.
They do, and even on the stops, like you said, it's a great point. They're just really not getting a ton of looks in their transition.
Foul against Isis Adams. That'll be her first, or third, rather.
And that's where you really feel like you need Sandrine Kleska in the game, because she's the one that really initiates and takes control in getting the ball out into their offense.
Hall drives, couldn't get the roll, and it'll be Elon basketball. And boy, Monmouth has scored just 7 points in the last 15 minutes. It's been tough. Even when they've gotten looks like that, just haven't been able to get the luck on that roll for going down.
Sometimes shots just don't go down, but you got to keep battling on the defensive end of the floor.
And despite that, they only find themselves down by 6. Not in bad position with a couple of minutes to play. Monroe, no good. Hawks get the rebound. Vanderhoop thought about it. Looks to drive instead, and no good off the glass. Rebound out for a Donovan 3. Got it!
Big time offensive rebound tip out by Cranbowl, and it's about time Donovan got involved. They need her down the stretch of this game, and a huge shot to cut it to a 1-possession game.
Monmouth trying to pull this one out in the final minutes. Elon trying to use the clock to their advantage. Pass. Out for a Taylor three at the buzzer.
Talk about a backbreaker, and how good has Vanessa Taylor been today? Big time shot after big time shot.
13 for Vanessa Taylor. Hall stops. Donovan looking to answer. No. Cranble the offensive rebound. 50 seconds left to go. Monmouth down 6. Hall stutters, drives, blocked. Second take was no good. Elon gets it. And Monmouth is going to start fouling to extend the game. It's Vanderhoop picking up her third.
And just another big-time defensive play by Isis Adams. With Hall attacking late in the shot clock. Hall's in great position, but Adams just walls up, doesn't foul, too, in the process. Goes straight up with her length and just causes some more trouble. With a block on the first attempt, and then she altered the shot on the second try. Her defense has been such a game changer.
Now, this is all credit to the Elon defense for this second half performance. Vanderhoop with a foul. Just another look at that Taylor three. Boy, just a shot that really took some of the wind out of this place.
I mean, sometimes it's your night, man. I mean, she shoots 50% from three coming into this game, and she's 2 for 2 in this one. And in a 6-point game, sometimes that's just the difference. And give Elon a lot of credit. They've made tough shot after tough shot here in the second half, and especially in the fourth quarter when winning time has arrived, the Phoenix have answered the bell.
Pass with the first free throw. Yeah, that's basketball, Jackson. Two for 2 for Malaysia pass. Timeout taken by the Monmouth Hawks. Be able to advance the ball into the front court. 30 seconds left to go. They find themselves down 8. It's a very simple game at this point if you're Monmouth. You got to make shots. And quickly, and get some help.
Quickly being the big thing, but you're at a point where, I mean, it's an 8-point game. It's only a 3-possession game, but you feel like you need threes and you need them fast. So right now you're running your best quick hitters, whether it's Donovan. You might want to get Jay Haynes in the game, who is not afraid to let it fly from deep, but this is looking like it's going to be a really disappointing loss for Monmouth, and especially in a game where they led by 12 in the third quarter. But again, all the credit goes to Elon. They amped up the intensity on the defensive end of the floor, and I mean, they've held the Hawks to 17 points here in the second half. Quite a defensive effort and quite a performance for them on the offensive end to convert in that regard as well.
It completely took away the Monmouth fast break. Here's Hall. Haynes to Vanderhoop. Donovan. Dumps off. Cranble. Bucket.
Still, I mean, 10 seconds come off the clock there. It's a good look by Donovan. She had to get to the interior, and I guess it's better than launching a contested three in that trouble, but really nice job by Elon. They defended the action perfectly. It was Hall coming off kind of a cross screen to try to get a look in the corner, but Elon switched that out, and then they trapped it and forced her to get rid of the ball. But now if you're Monmouth, it's about trapping. You got to go for a steal immediately, and if not, you got to foul.
Another timeout taken by Monmouth, so each team with 1 timeout remaining. Their 60-second timeout. Possession arrow favors Monmouth, so you can go for the tie-up and hope that you get a quick whistle on it.
Yep. And that's something that was surely echoed in the huddle by Ginny Bogus, is that you do have the possession arrow. If you can get a tie-up, go for it.
Booth, one set to inbound. Got it in, and a quick foul. See if it's Vanderhoop And if it is, that would be her 5th. I got on Ella Farrelly, her 2nd. So walked down to the other side. 2 for Ice Adams at the free throw line. And this is one of the parts of her game that this year, just 45% from the free throw line. So an opportunity for Monmouth. You don't mind having Adams at the line.
Yeah, and it's interesting because she does have a good shooting stroke. When you see it like that, you wouldn't expect her to be a 45% free throw shooter because she's someone that's not afraid to step outside and hit a 15-footer.
It's the back end of it. 11 points for Ice Adams. 7-point lead for the Phoenix. Hall. Back for Donovan. Inside, the leaner, no good. Offensive rebound, back up Exeter, no good, but she was fouled. And with 7.5 to go, Taisha Exeter will head to the free throw line for the Hawks. So Exeter, 7 points for Monmouth today. It's the first. It's going to be a loss for Monmouth, barring a furious comeback in this last 7-point four that stings a little bit. But I guess the good thing about this being the first game of the weekend is that you do have a chance in just 48 hours or a little bit less to come back and try to bounce back. Not going to be the easiest road, though. 3 straight road games for Monmouth, starting at Drexel, a team that's 3-1 in the conference and playing really well right now. CAA is no games off. It is just a strong top-to-bottom league, but a tough run coming up for the Hawks, and one that I'm sure they're really going to wish that they had this one.
Yeah, and like you said, anytime you can get a road win in conference, you take it and you run with it. So you got to give Elon credit for that, but you said it perfectly. This is going to feel like one that got away from Monmouth, not only because of the way Elon has been playing coming into this, but it's a game you're playing at home. You shoot the ball so well in the first half. You lead by 12 in the third quarter, and then it just kind of got away from them. So it's one that's definitely going to be frustrating, but like you said, big chance to bounce back. And every game in conference play, especially in this conference, is a rock fight. And like you said, you just got to get off the mat and kind of turn the page. And as Bill Belichick said, we're on to Cincinnati. For Monmouth, you're on to Drexel.
And if you're going to have a game like this, you'd rather it be on January 19th
Correct.
than on March 8th.
You're absolutely right about that.
Taylor streaking to the basket, gets the bucket. Really well drawn up play by Charlotte Smith and company.
And a fitting ending for Vanessa Taylor, who has been awesome today for Elon.
Season high 15 for her. Count the bucket from Vanderhoop. But that'll make it a final here today at the Ocean First Bank Center. Elon coming away with a victory, 65-60 over the Monmouth Hawks. First time over 60 points for Elon in conference play. They improved to 6-12 on the year and 2-3 in the league. Monmouth drops to 9-6 and 2-2 in Coastal Athletic Association play. Really strong defensive win for Elon. Vanessa Taylor with those 15 points, and Charlotte Smith picking up the win, and a big smile on her face afterwards. Was talking with Jackson and I earlier in the week, and basically saying, look, we are, despite the record, despite some of the stats and the numbers, happy with how the team's been playing, the spirit that they've been attacking each and every day with, the way that the culture has maintained despite some tough injuries. And it manifests itself in a win today. As we take a look at the game summary stats presented by RWJ Barnabas Health and Monmouth Medical Center. Elon holding Monmouth to just 37% shooting and just 29% in the second half. Coming close on the rebounds. The turnovers were close, but Just a little bit better shooting for Elon. Sent over to Jackson Heil with Charlotte Smith.
All right, we're joined by the winning head coach, Charlotte Smith. A huge second half for you guys. What changed for you guys defensively in that third quarter when you went on that 17-2 run?
I felt like we were more aggressive, more disruptive. We talked about trying to disrupt their patterns, and I felt like we did a good job of taking away pitch post opportunities and just really busting up their ball screen offense.
We're going to talk to Vanessa in a second, but how big of a performance is when you get 17 from her in a big spot, matching a career high on the road?
Really proud of Vanessa. You know, we stay on Vanessa about shooting the ball. Shoot the ball, shoot the ball. So, you know, anytime she's playing with a lot of confidence offensively, that takes our team to the next level.
Coach, thank you so much for the time. And we're going to be joined by the Newman Zone player of the game, Vanessa Taylor. Vanessa, man, your coach mentioned it. She wants you to shoot with confidence. 2 for 2 from 3 today. You hit a big one, too, at the end. How does it feel when you hit a shot so big like that in such a big moment on the road?
Honestly, I think I've been struggling a lot with my threes this year, so it felt really good, especially hitting that big shot for the team and coming through for them.
Your coach talked about the defensive effort, too, especially in that second half. What did you feel like changed for your group when you went on that big run in the third quarter to kind of blow the game open?
We always say that our defense leads to good offense, so I think we definitely stepped up defensively, which gave us a lot of good offensive possessions.
Vanessa, thank you so much. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Joe?
Thanks to Vanessa Taylor, the Newman Zone player of the game. A 65-60 win this afternoon for the Elon Phoenix over the Monmouth Hawks here at the Ocean First Bank Center. That just about does it for us here today. A snowy day down the Jersey Shore, but a great game between Elon and Monmouth. Want to give big thanks to Jackson Howell, my broadcast partner, and the entire crew here on the Monmouth Digital Network. My name is Joe Vasile saying so long from West Long Branch. Once again, the final score, Elon 65, Monmouth 60. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, everybody. We'll talk to you next time.